What's going on, guys? Dave here. We are about to load our Ford Taurus X on this U-Haul car hauler. And if you've ever rented one of these, or if you haven't rented one yet, and if you're curious how to use this trailer, safely that is, and we are towing it with the 10-foot box van, also from U-Haul. So if you need to move a car, or maybe a side-by-side or something like that, this guy is excellent for that because it's got ramps on the back, it's got straps on the front, it's got trailer brakes installed, so it's it's just really good and safe for toting such equipment. And we're going to go through the basics of how to use it real quick, so be right back. Alright, now the first thing, you want to make sure that it is hitched correctly, because I've seen people trying to load dirt bikes, lawnmowers, ATVs and things, and yet the trailer was not hitched properly to the receiver. So you see, you got this guy right here. Make sure that this is pushed down, make sure that everything is cranked down all the way so that it's seated fully on the hitch ball. Okay, and the chains and everything, they're pretty obvious and self-explanatory on how to hook up. But we'll take a look at them real quick. Just make sure that everything is looped fully, and then looped within itself, and then the little rubber hooks, little rubber pieces down there keep the chain from unlooping itself. So pretty self-explanatory, and of course make sure the trailer wiring is hooked up properly, as you see. Some of this is obviously self-explanatory, but for some people it may not be. Okay, looks good so far. And then make sure everything is at its extended level, fully seated. Now we move on to the straps that are included. And for some people, this is a little confusing for some people. Notice they are ratchet straps, with heavy duty style for a car. Okay, so with these guys, if you're transporting the trailer, with nothing on it, you need to make sure these straps can't go flying all over the place. So that's why I have them looped in place as it is. But for getting ready to strap the car in, you'll just push down on this lever here. I've got this looped in, so that it can't come flying off. So we will undo that. Okay, now you'll pull down on this part here so that you can lift the whole thing up and hold it, hold it back so that you can loosen it. And for some, you may need to spray a little lubricant on these gears right here, a little WD-40 or something. May need to spray in there to help that move a little more freely. And notice also that this can be positioned depending on how wide the tires are of the car you're about to load. You want it to be in the center, of course, of the tire. So we'll make that adjustment once we get the once we get the car on board. But with this guy here, these also get positioned depending on how you're going to load them up. As my microphone falls off. Okay, so we want to move the strap backwards like that. Okay, notice how we have the strap laying backwards now, because the car is going to need to roll over that, because the front wheel will be right in this area here, and then this area will loop over the top of the tire and then attach to the ratchet strap, and you'll pull it tight. So all this will get tighter and it'll hold the front wheel in place. Okay, but to load the car, move all this back so we can roll over that, and we'll stop the front wheel right here on this bumper. And we do the same for the other side as well, of course. All right, now you see it. Both straps are laying back. Front tire of the car will sit here and here. And then we'll adjust the buckles to be in the center of the wheel, of the tire, after we get the car loaded up. Now it's time to get the ramps ready in the back. Okay, now another great thing about this trailer is it has built-in ramps, and you just have to slide them back. So you push down on this guy right here while pulling back on it. It'll unhook, slide her back. Okay, and we'll do the same with the other one. All right, everything looks ready. Now make sure the parking brake is set on the truck, of course, or whatever you're towing with, so that this thing can't roll around a little bit. We don't want that to happen. All right, now we're ready to move the car up on, and we'll go to that step now. All right, I'm having to remove my microphone, so you may not be able to hear me too well, but now we're just gonna, obviously, it's good to have a helper sometimes do this. You know, but you'll need to roll down the window in your car so that you can see your front tire coming up on the ramp here. Make sure the ramp is straight on both sides. But yeah, roll down your window in your car and look out the side, because if you try to open your door and look down, the door could sometimes get hung on different areas of the trailer, so we don't want that to happen. So we're going to roll down the window and slowly come up the trailer. Once again, make sure that the hitch is fully locked in place up front. Here we go. And you just want to keep moving, slowly but surely keep moving. Now you'll notice if you try to open your door, it very possibly could hit the fender of the trailer, so we don't want that to happen. All right, now notice where the front tire is. It's going to then roll over the strapping here. It's going to roll over the straps, and then you'll slowly come up to this little bumper right here and stop. So, and make sure the straps are all spread apart. Make sure everything is nicely spread apart so you can roll over it cleanly and nothing gets tangled up in the wheel or tire or anything like that. So here we go. All right, put her back in gear. Make sure you look outside the car here and go forward gently and slowly. Now you'll go over one little bump right here. Gently. Once you get over that first bump, you can get ready with your brakes so that you don't possibly go over the edge. And then just keep easing forward. Then you'll feel it hit the little bumper right there. Immediately put it in park, put your emergency brake on, and then we'll strap her down. Strap her down and keep on going. Yeah, for some reason on this car, I can't open this door without it touching this fender of the trailer, so whatever. All right, now we get the straps ready here. This guy here. You want it to be nice and even and centered over the tire. So make sure that it's, you know, centered and wrapping around the tire right here. Same with the rear portion there. Make sure that the sliding port is just on the outside edges of the tire. Okay, and now with your ratchet strap, let's get a closer look at that. All right, let's get a closer look at the ratchet strap itself. Make sure that, notice when you crank on it, it starts rotating backwards. Okay, so get it to where the slot, you can see it. Slide your one through it here. Make sure there's no twists or bends or anything. Also, it's time to align the ratchet so that it's dead center on the tire. Like so. All that looks good. Start a cranking. You can pull this up a little bit through it. And make it good and strong. You want it to be really strong through there. And then you can tuck it, just tuck in the bottom so the wind won't blow it all over the place. And from the side, you want to make double sure that these straps feel good and snug, you know, really tight. You don't want anything to be wobbly or loose. Okay, so let's take a look at that from around all angles. Notice the strap going through. It wraps right over the top of the tire, basically. And the buckle is centered in the middle of the tire. All right, and then we'll do the other tire, same deal. Make sure that the buckle is centered. Make sure all that's nicely centered right there. Pull your strap over. Make sure there's no twists or kinks in it. Make sure it's evenly wrapped around the tire all the way up. And make sure the strap is going through the center of the tire as well. Okay, same deal. Get this about right in there. Poke it through the top. Make sure it's good and firm, and make sure your end of your strap can't be all flopping all over the place. So I like to come back through it or something like that. So you basically repeated what you did on the other side. And that's that. Make sure that the car is in park or in gear, as well as the emergency brake on with the car that's being towed, as well as the vehicle that's doing the towing. You know, while you're setting all this up, make sure that the vehicle is in park, of course, and emergency brake is on. Now, don't forget, you still got ramps sitting out back here. So if you try to take off with your ramp still in place, that could be embarrassing. So we'll put those back on. All you do is lift them up and shove them back where they came from. Now make sure they hook in place with that guy right there. Make sure that it hooks in place to keep it from possibly falling back off. Like so. Now it's a good time to test out your lights and everything, make sure everything is good. And as you see, lights are flashing normally. So yeah, make sure that that's good to go before you take off. All right, and if you've never towed a vehicle before, you may want to practice doing it. You might want to practice towing it, because it's different from driving a car. So it may be good to go around, your streets or your cul-de-sac or something, and just practice some, and backing it up is a whole different story. There are other videos online on how to do that, but that takes practice as well. But let's, before you take off, oh, there's chains underneath as well. One last thing. Yeah, the last thing on front and back, there are some safety chains right here. And if you have little tow hooks under your car, it's good to attach them to there or attach them to the frame. You just loop them around, do that on the front and back. It just, a little extra security to make sure the car is not going to go anywhere. And that is that. Yeah, we were actually going to buy a used vehicle today, so we rented this setup. And unfortunately, once we got to see the car up close and everything, it wasn't as great as we assumed it was going to be, so we came back empty-handed. Whatever, that's all right. It happens. You buy a car, you go to buy a car and you get to look it over and you're saying, wow, this is not as good as I thought it was. Anyway, that's it. Check out our other channel, other stuff on our channel. We got all kinds of videos that may help you. And if our video helped you, make sure you look for the thanks button underneath the video. And all right, we'll cruise around the cul-de-sac and get ready to head out.